Oh, good morning. My name's Rich Pagen. I didn't see you there. Just out for my morning swim here in central Minnesota at Mille.
Mille is quite shallow for its size, averaging between 20 and 38 feet deep. In fact, it remains quite shallow for some distance when heading out from shore, which allows the spike rush shown growing here to grow abundantly along its edge. This detail also explains the quote-unquote extremely graceful clamorous scramble I had to do to swim up to the camera earlier.
You might be thinking, I thought Rich was tough. What is he doing wearing an insulated hooded top? Well, the story is that I'm wearing it for modesty purposes because I know this video is going to go viral, and I thought it'd be good to have some clothes on. I know you're thinking it's because the water is freezing, and I can attest to that. It is, in fact, freezing, but I'm sticking to my story.
Common loons, the state bird of Minnesota, certainly don't mind the frigid water. Predominantly fish hunters, they are drawn to relatively clear waters for ease of hunting, and use their large webbed feet to propel themselves in pursuit of their prey. A pair of loons raising 2 chicks, which is their usual number, have been estimated to feed on over 900 pounds of fish during the 5.5 months that they spend in their breeding territory. The eerie, reverberating calls of these large diving birds is a quintessential sound of the North Woods in summer, a sound that writer John McPhee once called the laugh of the deeply insane.
Whew, that was a cold swim. Let's go explore some lakes and marshes. During my swim this morning, I saw lots of midges by the millions. These are flying insects that resemble mosquitoes but don't suck blood. They are harmless to people, but they have an aquatic nymph stage or larval stage, which live in fresh water, and then they hatch out to be adults, and lots of these adults are around here today.
I've got all sorts of midges around me, which I think I just ate one.
Early in the spring, just after snowmelt, is the season of what are called vernal pools. These are seasonally flooded areas that for most of the year remain dry, but for a period of a few weeks to a few months, they are essentially wetlands. Because of their seasonal status, fish are unable to live there, making them the perfect places for frogs, like the chorus frogs calling here. The frogs still have to be on the lookout for predators, like this garter snake, which happily patrols the edge of the vernal pool, looking for opportunities to prey on its inhabitants. So just on this dirt road here, you can see that a snapping turtle has crossed the road, and just by the direction of the way its claws are facing, we can tell it went from the marsh, where they live, of course, out into the forest to lay eggs. And just the other day, we had a couple of pairs mating, so it is the time of year, and so we expect to see more and more turtles leaving the marsh, heading into higher ground to find some sandy soil to lay their eggs. Very cool. I edited this image of the mating snapping turtles in PowerPoint, which has a feature where it does a text description of photographs that you drag into the application. I can assure both PowerPoint and you that this is not a photo of a bear swimming in a body of water. So we just found another turtle crossing, some tracks going across, and then we heard some leaves moving, and we've got a turtle, this one a different species, that's gone up into the forest. So let's go take a look. The Blanding's turtle, named in honor of the American naturalist of centuries ago, Dr. William Blanding, is a species that is threatened or endangered across much of its range. A semi-aquatic turtle, Blanding's turtles take 14 to 20 years to reach sexual maturity. It's very exciting to see one out and about, moving either to a new water body for feeding Or perhaps this is a female out looking for higher ground to lay her 5 to 12 eggs.
So here I'm trespassing. We're gonna take a look in this garden up here where there is a female snapping turtle laying eggs. And it's quite amazing that she came all the way up here. She came down the driveway. You'll see there's a big rock wall here and some noisy birds.
Snapping turtles can be quite aggressive in defending themselves when out of the water, but when in the water, they spend most of their time sitting still, looking like an algae-covered log, and awaiting unsuspecting prey that come close enough for them to lunge at with their long neck and sharp beak. Dead stuff, live stuff, and everything ranging from fish, invertebrates, frogs to ducklings. All of these are on the menu.
And if you look kind of off to the left, you can see some tan soil. She dug down through the mulch down to the soil below in her first attempt at a nesting spot, and now she's settled into the spot she's laying her eggs.
The peak laying season for snapping turtles in Minnesota is June and July. Females travel overland to find loose, well-drained soil in which to lay their eggs, often some distance from the water. After digging a hole, the female typically deposits 25 to 60 eggs, guiding them into the nest with her hind feet and covering them with sand for incubation and for protection. Interestingly, not only does this mother not see her young hatch, she never even sees the eggs she lays. She just buries them and goes on her way, wishing them well.